Okay, thank you. Just want to make sure you. I didn't bring this copy. Okay. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm good.
My documents. It's about my appendix on it. Yeah, the board should have any documents. Okay.
All right, good morning.
So, like, I should be able to refer.
Good morning. Good morning, thank you. We're the 2021 Board of Equalization Review for Union County. We've been appointed by the county commissioners to hear any and all taxpayers with their respects to their concern or complaints regarding the valuation of the property for tax purposes. Property owners appearing before the Board of Equalization Review have the right to a fair and equitable hearing. The Board of Equalization Review has been charged with ensuring that the proper legal principles have been applied in evaluation dispute for tax purposes. Here's the format. The clerk calls the case and locates the property. The appellant presents his or her case. The assessor's office offers the defense. Both parties will be given an opportunity to conclude their comments. All questions should be directed to me or the board. The taxpayer will be notified in writing of the board's decision. The burden of proof is on the taxpayer to demonstrate the assessment is erroneous. And as soon as the hearing ends, we will begin the deliberation stage. All right, first case. Thank you, Velma.
Good morning. Parcel ID number 06150-174, Mr. Tanigai Vikatisan.
Property is located in a small subdivision called The Retreat. It's just a few houses in there. It's gated. Providence Road, this is Weddington. Providence Road is right here. Here's downtown Weddington, if you will, Town Hall, Harris Teeter on Providence Road. And then the back entrance to Longview is off of this road as well.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, everyone. Do you mind if I?
I wish you would.
Thank you. Easily I can breathe while speaking. Thank you.
State your case if you don't mind. Your name and your case.
My name is Tanigai Venkatesan. Is this the number 06150-174? Sorry, this is my first time.
Okay, so, and no problem with that at all. So what you're doing, why are you here appealing your tax value?
Okay, so like I received that new assessed value for our property, which is at 255 Old Post Road. Like we bought like 7 years back at $559,500. Now the new assessed rate came as a $773,400. We didn't do any improvements or any value add enhancements to our property. I understand there might be a, value might have increased, over the last 7 years, but want to compare the property value with other comparable property values, and we feel that it's assessed at a very higher rate. That's what I came here to appeal.
Do you have any idea when your house was built or constructed? What year?
2013 December, end of
2013.
2013.
Okay. Did you build the home, or did you buy the home?
It's not a custom house, but we are the first owner. We built the home.
You built the home. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Ray, you got any questions for
Randy,
Still-
when did you say it was built?
13?
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
What is your opinion of value on the property?
So I think, I'm not the expert here, I'm trying to compare the property values, right? I think we would have, ours, 10% might have increased, which is at $615,400 is what we are thinking right now the value would be.
And then do you have evidence to support your value?
I do have, and again, I'm trying to compare exact apple to apple, because I did receive the comparison report from the Union County, but it's from different neighborhood, but similar properties from the size wise. I get that, but I would like to use 2 other property in our same neighborhood. Our neighborhood consists of 9 homes. It's the 2 properties, which is 233 Old Post Road and another one is 229 Old Post Road. The reason why I want to compare with those 2 properties, it's constructed at the same time by the same builder and it's the same model also, like Biltmore model. MI Homes is the builder. It's exactly everything is same. Floor plan, number of rooms, square feet, even the land might be like 0.01%, 1 acre might be plus minus, that's the only difference. We all bought at the same price range. But the other 2 properties, last 2 years back or 1.5 year back, they added a lot of enhancement to their property, luxury swimming pool, their property is surrounded with aluminum fence, which we do not have. They spent like $170K, $200K to enhance that. And their new assessed value is at $797, only like $23,000 lesser than what our new, that's where we feel like, probably ours is 200 or 170 to 200K more, assessed. This is more like apple to apple comparison, but only thing what we are missing, what they gained in the last 2 years is the luxury swimming pool and the aluminum fence around all their entire property.
Okay. Mark, you got any questions for?
Yeah, I'm looking at your comps from the houses you're talking about. It says here your house is 4,896 square feet. County has a value of 773 on it. And then the 2 houses you're talking about that added, I guess, swimming pool, because that's what they have on theirs. The first comp is 4,809 square feet,
So 89 or 87 square feet is less.
right.
Yep.
Then its value is 817,000. Yours is 773, and then the final one you got here is the same thing, except it's square footage on
It's the same.
it is the same. I
Yeah.
agree. And it's 797,300, and yours is 773. So as far as your neighbors around you being valued for equalization purposes, it looks like it's pretty much close in line, since I'm sure you're not sure of this, but right now, that was your original value of 773, and I have on my sheet here, the tax office new opinion of value is 733. So if yours is going to be that's what the county's recommending today. If yours is 733,000, but your neighbors are 818 or 790, those pools aren't really that great. But anyway.
So, but that's where we are. Again, this is completely new to us. We are not familiar with the process, everything. So all we know is they spent one house spent 210K, another house spent 170K. The luxury pools, and the other benefits, right? So probably their value might be 817K. Spending 210K on their enhancements might be valued at that range. But we did not make any single enhancement in the last 7 years. That's where
Okay.
yeah.
Got it.
Mike, you got any questions? Let's hear from the county, if you don't mind. I'll give you a chance to conclude your comments in just a minute. We'll hear from the county now.
So do I?
Yeah, you just sit back down
Okay,
and
sure.
listen, and I'll ask you before we conclude. I ask
Okay,
you-
thank you, sir.
Absolutely, thank you,
Yep.
sir.
Morning.
Morning, sir.
All right, provided a sales comparison report for you. Had to go outside of the neighborhood, being that it is a small neighborhood, no houses sold within that neighborhood. But I found some good comps, same quality grade of good, same year built, or similar year built. Subject was 2013. You can see the comps are about 2006 to 2013, or 2014 is number 4. So I felt these were really good comps, similar type, construction and all that. So originally we had 773,400. After doing the sales comparison report, was able to lower it down to 733,800. Other properties in there do have pools, as you can see. We do account for those, as everyone knows. So, I know we have all those listed correctly, and it is accounted for, and so.
Okay. Mike, you got any questions for the county? Mark?
No, sir.
Dutch?
No, sir.
Ray?
No.
Okay, well, thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Anything else, sir? I think we got the gist of your conversation and your appeal. So everything's good? Thank you. Okay? Thank you, sir.
Moving to tab number 2, parcel ID number 061560048. Daniel and Lizelyn Turcotte.
This property is located on Newtown Road in Weddington/Waxhaw. Here is Providence Road and Newtown. Here is where the new Publix is. And it's just off that corner there, off that intersection, I mean.
So it's not a subdivision, it's just off the road.
Correct, yeah, there's a long driveway that goes back into the woods there.
Okay.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning. So I prepared, I don't know if we prepared like a summary of what our research is. So the subject property is our address, 8140. And of course, we don't know how to really kind of compare properties since our property is very hard to compare with other properties. It's not in a subdivision, it's on a dirt road, and it's originally a 1976 house, and somehow it is considered a year built 2017. Even on the comps that the tax assessor prepared, you can see the picture that half of it is kind of newish and half is the original 1976. But what we did was we looked at other properties that we consider as comps. We were told by the tax assessor that the first thing to do is the school district. So we narrowed it down to number 1, school district. We pulled like 11 properties that's kind of can be compared to ours, but not really direct comp. So number 1 is school district. Everything, every property that we pulled is at Weddington School District. And number 2, the year built. We noticed that what the comps of the tax assessor used was anything like above or newer than year 2000. So that's what we did. 2000 or newer, and we also, because it's so different to get direct comp property, we also extended it to kind of 2 or 3 older properties, but they are nicely renovated. And of course, we tuned it just to years sold, 2020. We did not go earlier than that, or we did not go into 2021 sale properties, or properties sold. And the size of the house, so we narrowed it down to more than 3,000 square feet, but less than 3,750. Size of the lot, the tax assessor compared 2 properties that number 2 comp and number 3 comp. They are less than 1 acre, it's 0.92, and .877. So what we did was to narrow it down to more than 1 acre to closely approximate the size of our property, which is 2.12. So it's more than 1 acre, but less than 2.5. So we really tried to narrow it down so to get the most comparable properties with ours. And as you can see, the location of our property, it's so close to Marvin and also can be compared to some Parkwood School District, but we did not do it. We did just Weddington School District to kind of really get the comps correctly as far as we're concerned. We're lay people, we don't know how to calculate these things too. And so, and also we noticed that in the criteria, official criteria, it doesn't say anything about garages, about bedrooms, about bathrooms. So we just throw it in. As you can see, our property has no garage, 0 garage. And the other comps that we looked at, they're tabulated here, the number of garages. And the bedrooms, ours is 3 bedrooms and 2.5 baths. And as you can see, the tax assessor used 2 of the comps, which we kind of like agree because one is directly across the street, Newtown Road, 1601 Shimron Lane. And the adjusted sale price here was designated, was given, was $480,000, down from the sale price of $490,000. So what we looked at is our property was, the sale price was $550,000, and for some reason, the adjusted price went up to $616,000. So we're just trying to compare ours to the most similar homes that we can compare. And it looks like 2 official comps that he used dropped by 10 or 15,000.
And we have no improvements.
And we don't have any improvements, and ours went up to 616. And when we looked at it, the number 1 comp of the official number 1 comp was sold at $650,000. That's $100,000 more than our sale price. And it seems like that is the one that's used to determine our adjusted sale price of $616,000. And I think that's, I think the.
Let me stop you right there. Do you,
Sorry.
now, do you have an opinion of what you think the tax value of your home should be?
Well, we're basing it on the 2 comps, most probably 10 to 15 less than the sale price, which is about $535 or $540,
That's what you think?
based on the 2, yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to ask you this real quick, I apologize.
Oh,
You said 650, the first comp that you're using?
Oh, well, that was the tax assessors using 501 Oakland Lane. That's the official one. It says 650 sale price, and it seems like it's an oddity amongst the comparable properties, and we kind of, we're trying to dispute that.
I think that's the county's comp, county's first comp.
Yeah.
Is 1601?
The 501 Auckland. That's the first comp from,
That the county.
Okay, that the county had?
It looked like it's through,
I'm just not seeing the number that said it sold for $650,000.
It's up right here.
it's in the above.
In July last year. It's the counties.
Okay, got
In July of last year, it sold for
it. There you go.
$650,000.
Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you.
of course.
While we're on a roll, Mike, you got any questions? Ray? Dutch, you got any?
No, not yet,
Okay.
more for the county, I think.
I have one more.
Yes, sir. Mr. Ashcraft.
That's some good information you provided. I'm like you, you know, for a house that's sold for $490 or something.
And we have a well, we're not on city water or anything.
And I'm waiting to hear from the county because you're right. If your numbers are right, and we'll find out through the county, but you got a reason to be here. Go ahead.
Let me ask you a question. All right, so you share a road with another property owner?
Yes, sir, we do. Mr. Sebastian, his last name will come to me soon.
And so you have a deeded right-of-way, or does do you own the right-of-way?
No, it's split. Both names are on the right-of-way.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
okay.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else?
No, thank you.
Let's hear from the county, and I'll give you a chance to
Thank you.
conclude. Yes, ma'am, thank you for your research and time.
All right, this property. This property was, I've been to this property many times throughout the renovation process of this. It took the previous owners a couple years to finish this. This was originally a 1970s, I believe, bi-level. And what he did is he built around the old house and then, I guess, took the existing house apart as he was building it. So I doesn't show on this map, but it's hard to see on the picture here. You can still see part of the old bi-level in the picture on my sales report I provided, although it's hard to see. So what he did was he built around it a bunch of additions and then, like I said, disassembled the house, the original house. So it's essentially a brand new house. And I provided pictures. These are the listing photos and the information I provided of the inside and exterior of this house, and you can see how nice it is on the exterior and the interior. So there's really what remains of the original structure is the original foundation, essentially, of the house, which is why we have a year built on it of 2017. That's when it was, the renovations were started, and why we changed the effective year for depreciation purposes to a 2017 structure to capture all the new additions and everything.
That's a nice picture.
So with that, my comps that I used were similar properties to a 2017 house, similar construction quality. They paid $550,000 at the beginning of 2020. Originally, we had an assessed value of $649,000. After running my comps, I was able to adjust the $616,000. So over the course of a year, that's not a huge increase from what their purchase price was based on the comps that I was able to use. And I felt these comps were pretty good considering that this is a unique property. And the other thing I wanted to point out too, the garage, they had mentioned the garage. They do not have a garage, that is correct. You can see on the sales comparison report at the bottom, we do adjust for it not having a garage and the houses that do.
How much value did you give their shop, I will call it that?
$28,820.
I see it now.
Yeah, and that's at the bottom on there,
Yeah, okay.
on the subject.
On your comps,
Mm-hmm.
I see number 1, but number 2 and 3, is that the same ones that they used on theirs?
They had mentioned Shimron. I'm not sure about Lake Providence.
One of them for sure.
Yeah, Shimron is right across the street.
Okay, yeah, it's close by.
Yeah.
Okay, but your land, the land value, you lowered it 43,600. You see on that comp too?
Mm-hmm, yes.
That's why I'm trying to figure out what the difference. I know they've got 2.1 acres and that one's 1 acre, I guess.
Yeah, and that one is in a, I mean, it's just a one road, I believe, subdivision there. So we do have them separated out as far as value. So that's priced as a subdivision, whereas the subject is rural land. So we're making an adjustment on that land to bring it down to their land value.
Yeah, because
And that's typical. Subdivision lots, a lot of times, are gonna be more expensive.
and their land value is 86,600.
Correct.
Okay.
Well, they said they were on a well. Is there any adjustments for people that are, in a subdivision, have access to county water, as far as a road that's shared right away with, on pavement?
We do not, no. We did not attribute any value to that. Or reductions.
We will make adjustments if they have no access to water.
Ray, you got any questions for the county?
Yeah, we got a couple. On your comp sheet, you took an arbitrary year-built 2017 to compensate for it. In other words, he took the old foundation and over the several years, built it to where it is today.
Mm-hmm.
On Other improvements, $28,820. What is that for?
That's for their outbuilding, the storage building slash garage, whatever you want to call it. That's what that is. And there's a photo of that in the photos I provided. So it's for the outbuilding on the property.
Okay.
So the other properties don't have, well, the first two don't have any outbuildings, so we're making an adjustment.
And these other comps you have in here are in nearby his house? It's not a subdivision, right?
Well, so the first one is, I think the furthest one away. That one is in Wellington Woods, which is technically a subdivision. It's a large acreage in there. There's no amenities or anything like that. So I felt it was, even though it was in an actual subdivision, it was a very similar property.
That's all I have, Randy.
Good.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify a couple of points. I mean, and maybe conversation with the property owner too. So they didn't do the improvement, they purchased the home in January of '20, and the prior owner did all the renovation.
That is correct, yes, yes.
So if they purchased the home in January of '20, did they mention anything about having an appraisal or anything?
Not that I recall.
Can I ask?
Yeah, absolutely.
Did y'all have an appraisal done when you purchased the home?
I'm certain we did in order to get a mortgage.
Yeah, did you have a copy of it, or remember what it appraised for?
I'm sorry. We did not have any other appraisal except for the appraisal that was done prior to the purchase of the property.
Right.
Right, okay.
But you don't remember what that value was?
You really don't?
It's usually, they get assessed to give us a loan, and the assessed value most probably is $550 because they will not grant us a mortgage if it's below that. Or if it's usually $559, I wanted to say.
Right, so around 559 to 560 is what you're thinking? Okay. That would be good evidence for you to have, because it would be within the time frame where we could use it.
And see, what was my question here? I lost it. I'm sorry about that. Had something on mind. You paid $550 though, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And, okay.
Sorry to get off track there.
That's all right. Yeah,
I think I'm
That's a
good.
good point.
Yeah.
Any question for the county, Mark?
No, sir.
Okay, Mike? No. All right, thanks, sir.
Thank you all.
Moving to tab number 3, it's going to be rescheduled. Tab number 4 is no show. Tab number 5, parcel ID number 09235-210, Nancy McHale? McHale.
Property is located on South College Street in downtown Monroe. Here's Lancaster Avenue /200, and it's right off of there. And here's downtown.
Morning.
Morning. Good morning.
The reason that I'm here is because I think there was an error or a mistake in the comparable that he used. My house description is incorrect in everything I look at on the internet. I only have 2 bedrooms, 1 bath. Nothing has been done to it since probably the 50s when the electricity was upgraded. And it was compared to a house, a 2-story house, more than half a mile away, that had been newly renovated, has 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, and sold in July of 2020. I don't know why he didn't use the house next door. The house next door at 505 South College, or is that, no, I'm sorry, 501 South College Street, was sold in October of 2020, more recently, and is more comparable in that it has 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, and is pretty much original to, I don't think a whole lot's been done to that either. I haven't been in it in years, but they have better floors than mine, but I didn't notice anything else had been done. And
You said, I see you said it's over 79,000 last year?
he sold for $79,000 last year.
What would you call that particular house as far as condition when it sold? When, it couldn't have been.
I haven't been in it in years, and it was a rental for a while. I had been in it when it was actually homeowner, and it was, the floors were wonderful, original floors that had been redone, and she had kept it up. After rentals being in there, I don't really know. I haven't seen it more recently inside. Outside did get a new roof, and I think they just painted the siding. Yeah, I can't really say. I can just tell you that that's a big discrepancy. And, at least it had 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, the same as mine.
How long have you lived there?
20 years.
20 years, okay. Did you buy the home then, or you rent?
No, I bought it.
You bought, okay.
It had been a rental.
I think I'm familiar with this home. I think some friends of mine that were neighbors of mine in the country moved up there years and years ago. I like College Street.
Yeah, we're a porch-sit neighborhood. So most of your neighbors that own houses, because we just, Sunday afternoons, we sit on porches. And the other comparison that I used was not a house that had sold recently. Matter of fact, they'd probably been there 30 years. But down the street at 505, that's a 2-story house with 4 bedrooms, 2 full bathrooms, and yet it was assessed, I don't know what comparison they used to assess that one, but that was assessed for 141, and I'm wondering how in the heck you come up with 100, excuse me, but how you come up with the amount mine came up with. That's, it's kind of, and theirs looks a lot better than mine. He does handyman type construction type work, so he's really kept up with his house.
And so the 1,978 square feet, that is true. I see you got it circled on your paperwork. That's,
Yeah, if you do the math, it says it's right. It doesn't appear that size to me, but from the outline, yes.
Okay.
Originally, I think it was 1,500 square feet. When I bought the house, it was taxed on 1,500 square feet. The tax appraisal back then was like $46,000, and that was only 20 years ago. But they kept it low because city versus county, I don't know, could you pay 2 taxes? Okay. That's the way it was explained to me back then. But comparatively to the things on the street, I'm like, why is mine higher than most everybody's? It's kind of strange. It looks big from the outside, but it's really only 1 floor.
Ray, any questions from Ms. McHale?
Yeah, you're saying this, your cop number 4, got 4 bedrooms, right?
Yes, yes, and it has recently sold, so I was able to go online and look up, from when the realtor sold the house. It's beautiful inside. It's been completely remodeled, new kitchen, new everything. Yeah.
Last question I have is, what's your opinion of value?
I was using the house up the street. They have a little less property than I do, so 141, I would think would be fair,
Okay, thank you.
or less.
Mr. Hardison, got any questions?
I'm just, kind of tag on with what Ray's thinking on the bedroom piece, which is, obviously some consideration there. You've got on here that there's 5 rooms total.
Yeah, that's only 5
I
rooms.
mean, you're using 2 of those for a bedroom. Could another one be used for a bedroom or has been used for a bedroom before?
No,
I
no,
mean,
no, there's, the left side, it's like a gunshot house,
Right.
there's a hallway. Nope, just 2 bedrooms. As far as I can tell, that's only ever been 2 bedrooms
then
and
the
1
other-
bath.
Yeah, so the other, you got 5 rooms total, so that's,
There's a closed-in back porch, the laundry room. It's
you're
1.
counting that as a room.
I counted that as a
Okay.
room. And the living room, dining room, kitchen's really all 1 room.
Okay, okay.
It's just an open, you could play basketball in there.
Okay, I really, the purpose of the question, I didn't know if there was an office in there.
Oh, no, no.
Could be
Well,
used as a
no.
bedroom. Yeah, okay.
No, it's a laundry room, a back porch room. I put a little divider so you don't see my laundry, but that's, it's just room.
Mark, any questions, Mr. Kelly?
Just one, you said did you acquire the property in 99 or?
99, I believe it was,
So it's been
99.
over 20 years.
20 years.
You said nothing's been done to the house? since
Well,
then?
no upgrades. I mean, just, I had to paint it, and,
Maintained it.
yeah, I've maintained it as it is, but nothing's been improved. I mean,
Nothing-
it's my 30-year plan, and it needs new plumbing, and electricity really needs to be looked at. But I'm the only one there. There's no children or, so yeah, I deal with that. Yeah.
Right. All right, Mr. Kelly, let's hear from the county, if you don't mind.
Okay,
Thank you, ma'am.
thank you.
You're on a roll, aren't you, Alan?
I am, yes, today's my day, I guess. All right. First thing I want to point out, some of the properties that were mentioned, I provided the property record cards for the subject property and the properties that were mentioned. Really, the reason they weren't used, if there were sales in 2020, is because either the quality of construction was different or the condition. A couple of them have good condition, poor condition. The subject property is in average condition. I don't recall condition being mentioned in the appeal initially, so it really wasn't something that I considered, although we only have it in average condition, so we don't have it in good or excellent as if there have been renovations or anything like that. The comps that I used are going to be the same quality grade. These have had some updates, not, again, condition was not mentioned in the appeal, so I could only go off of what the information that I had.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, can I ask one
Please do.
Have you been in any of these houses?
The comparable homes?
Yeah.
Not been in them, but I did look at pictures of them from their listing photos.
Oh, the listed photos.
Yes, from when they sold.
Have you had any pictures of the subject?
No.
Okay. 'Cause they had
Yeah.
for sale.
Yeah, I mean, as best as I could tell, the house, as she had mentioned, that it's been maintained, so, as best as I could tell.
Sorry, go ahead.
One thing about the bedrooms, I don't believe we had the bedroom count listed on the subject, if I remember correctly, so I wasn't aware that it's only 2 bedrooms, and if the comps do have 4 bedrooms, then I think, certainly that would make a difference overall,
How would
but,
that make a difference? Just curious.
well, I mean, we didn't have any.
It's not a room, you just don't call it a bedroom, you call it a open area.
Yeah, I mean, we don't account for we don't put value on bedrooms per se, but, on the open market, it, could affect the value for sure. So, and that's the reason why I chose the comps I did, because I felt they were, from what I knew about the subject property, they appeared to be the best comps that I could find.
How much deduction would you give on this particular property for just an average grade?
From an average plus, you mean down to an average? I'm not sure offhand. I don't know if Brad would know.
I've seen some appraisals come through my desk, across my desk, where they've adjusted to 10,000 per bedroom. That's just what I've seen on,
For not having 3, is that what you're saying?
per bedroom, if like from a comparing a 2-bedroom to a 3-bedroom, I've seen a $10,000 adjustment for that.
And what about, though, but going from average plus to average?
That, we usually get that from our market. We try not to go outside the quality.
Okay.
What was your question, going from average to average?
Let me,
plus?
Mr. Chairman, I can speak to that. We can get the, I can't tell you the percentage off the top of my head, but we can get the scheduled values and look at that and determine the percentage change based on condition change.
Okay.
Or you were asking, changing the grade, how much would adjust the value?
And to the point of Mr. Ashcraft's question about had he been in the properties, we don't typically get to go into the properties. We don't have access to those properties unless the taxpayer invites us in.
Right.
So that's part of that.
I didn't know there.
Yeah.
Sure.
Anything else?
No, I think that was it. Yeah, so We have 175,300. The report came in at 189,000, so it supported our value with the information I had at the time.
Okay. Mike, any questions for the county? Mark?
No, sir.
Dutch?
I'm good.
Ray?
Got one.
Sure.
On the comp sheet, getting back to what the chairman was alluding to, average plus quality, and the one, number 4 is good minus. Is that strictly based on the observation of the condition on the outside of the house?
It's not condition, it's overall quality of construction. So that's historically what we've had on that house, is a good minus.
So this house is graded higher than comp number 4 as far as quality?
Good minus is right above average plus. Good minus and average plus are very similar, so.
Okay.
Yeah, good minus is just slightly above, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
That's all I have, Randy.
Okay. Thank you.
thank you.
Tab number 6 is a no-show. Tab number 7 is a no-show. Tab number 8, parcel ID number 05054003, Mr. Charles Walkup Jr.
This parcel is located on Providence Road, south at the state line. You can see Cane Creek, up there. This little loop road is Huey Boulevard, and the subject's highlighted.
Good morning.
Good morning. I have one additional sheet that I did last night if you want to distribute copies. While she's doing that, let me say I am glad don't have to be a tax appraiser because I realize it's a very complex, difficult job. And I appreciate all the effort that goes into trying to be fair in doing that.
Thank you.
Now,
I apologize. Can we pull this out again on the screen so I can see exactly what I'm looking at? I know you told us to.
oh, sure.
I need to know more than this.
Thank you. Hey, yeah, let me change do this real quick.
Okay,
So it's right on the state line?
okay.
Scroll up, show them where 200 south is that.
Sure. Lancaster
Up there,
Highway.
wait, see, all right.
Yep,
In fact, the Outlet World's, so you're taking a left there.
yep, and going
All the
down.
way
Yeah, at
down.
the roundabout at Providence, you're just
Right
heading.
on the state line, thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Sorry about that, Mr. Chairman.
No, that's fine. That's in mine, Mike's territory now, and Dutch.
If you've ever been to the camping side of Cane Creek Park, I'm the house on the corner of Cane Creek Road in Providence. Okay. Excuse me. There are kind of two approaches I'm taking here. Number one, and this is based on experience in Mecklenburg County previously. I requested somebody come out and look at the house. That has not been done. I'm still requesting that. And that is because the prior Mecklenburg, which was about 2010 or 11, they upped my value from what was then about 117 to 154. When I sent the letter of appeal, they reduced it to 145. But when the appraiser actually came out and looked at the house and said, "What value did you put?" "Oh yeah, 130,000. He ended up doing it for 128.7. which it stayed that until 2 years ago, when then they upped it to $277,900, more than twice the previous. So again, I sent my letter in, I requested somebody come out. Finally, at the end of July, when he came out, he reduced it to $214,500, a considerable reduction. So again, I place very much importance on the appraiser actually visiting the house and seeing it. Now, based on the comparables that Mr. Ziegler provided me and the handout I just gave you, and the letter I had sent in previously, I am raising questions because taking the data with the comparables and doing an analysis of it, which was what, 2 of the spreadsheets in there where I did it by categories, and then this one that I just handed you, I did last night. Well, what he provided me showed a grid estimate of $344,700, a moving average, with the minimum being $221.89, maximum $410, $326. Now, I am wondering how that moving average was calculated, because as you see on the sheet there, if I average the 4 comps that were provided with it, it comes out to, where's my sheet here? I think it was 326,000 something. If I leave out the 1 comp that had average quality, because the other 3 and mine were average minus, then the average came out to 298,000. So again, my question is, how was this moving average calculated? Because it seems that's the standard being used to say my appraisal is fair. Now, okay, then if you will, well, the letter I provided has questions within it, but the 2 sheets that were spreadsheets here, I'll try to just go through those quickly. The first one was, says the comps are average condition, average minus quality, and the focus is on improvement value only, excluding the land, okay? So when I arrange mine with the 8 comparables in year built order, from the oldest 1901 to the last 2 both built in 2000, and mine and another one built in 1991, and then look at the value per square foot. What leaps out is the Plyler Mill Road one is odd, because it's $84.56 per square foot, which should put it up near the top. So to me, that is an inconsistency there. The last 2, built in 2000, Montgomery Place and Austin Road, had their square footage, main square footage was only 12 square foot difference, but the value square footage was over $4 difference. That's a sort of a small inconsistency. Then if we look down at main square foot order, where I placed them all in that order, and we look at the bottom 2, which were built in 76, 77, here's each other. The main square footage, it's only a 56 square foot difference. And yet, again, there's a significant difference when you compare the improvement value to the square footage of 96.99 and 84.56. So again, that raises questions in my mind.
Well, why don't we hear from the county? You said you were trying to figure out how the county would write that value, and then give you a chance to conclude your comments after we hear from the county, if you still have questions.
Okay, well, I haven't, there's one more on this page, and then there are three on the other page. I'm just saying I did an extensive analysis here.
I see that, yes, sir. Appreciate that.
On each of the variable factors, and when you look at it, the results, it raises questions. Okay.
I'll give you a chance to conclude your comments, I promise. Hey, Donnie?
Morning, fellas
Morning.
and ladies. The comper that I provided to support our value does come in at $344,700. And Mr. Walkup was arguing the improved value. So he and I had a conversation on June 18th, and he expressed concerns over his rear porch on the back. He had said that the slab underneath the porch was cracked and needed to be jacked up. As it turned out, I had several conversations with, we've had this happen through the appeal process this year, so I've had several conversations with ram jack folks, leveling people. And, yes, sir?
Did you go out to the property?
No, sir, I did not. I did not. In that conversation with him, we had agreed upon $3,000 as a leveling so I took $3,000 off, and the comper supports the $344,700. I did not go to the property, Mr. Ashcraft, because condition was never expressed beyond the porch. Condition of the house was not expressed beyond the porch, so I didn't feel it was necessary. What I have since done is, Velma, you guys have a spreadsheet like this with a big orange bar, and what I have done is taken the first, it's actually the same sales that Mr. Walkup has provided in the entry order, so I've just put them in a spreadsheet, all right? So it's the same sales that he's got there. I haven't changed any of the values. The first one is his house. It's in red and italics. He had mentioned Plyler Mill Road being so much lower per square foot of improved value. That was a 2018 sale. I went out there, met with the homeowner, and she had a house that her parents had lived in that was of no value. So under that appeal, I removed value for that dwelling. I had some value for a pole building out there, but in our conversion, it was added back in. So we're correcting that. It shouldn't have any or very little improved value on that parcel. So that's part of the reason why it's low, because it hit a different table and it was a reduced value before we took the value off. So it's a sale I excluded. So then if we go down to the next block, you'll see 4 sales are in orange. Those sales occurred in 2019. As you know, we have had enough sales in 2020 to support our values. So if we remove the Plyler Mill Road and the 4 sales that occurred in 2019, that leaves us with the 3 sales in the 4th block, or the 3rd block, I'm sorry. McElroy Road, Austin Road, and Forest Lane. And so what I've done there is the median value per square foot is $123.69 just for the improvements. And the value of the subject home is at $122.78. So the sales that the homeowner is providing us do support our value and show that our value is a little bit less than the median for similar houses.
What does the land have to, he has 28 acres?
Yes,
And these that you're showing here?
these are his sales that he had.
Okay, the 3 that you had in 20, so?
Yes, sir. What we're doing is we've taken the land out of the equation. We're just talking about the improved value.
Okay. So
Which
that
is-
means the 28 acres doesn't matter in the fact.
It
and
wasn't-
It's not
it-
added back into it?
It can be, yes, but it wasn't a part of the argument for value.
Okay, I'm good. I'm good now.
Did you rate it average minus because of the back porch?
No, sir, it was always that way,
Okay.
based on quality of construction.
So we're just dealing with this square footage of his house and
As I understood, the argument was the improved
Yeah.
value.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. So just,
based on that, it's going to have a factor in all of it.
yeah.
Got it.
Biggest thing I'm hung up on, and I'm just keep looking at it, is the comp one for the county,
Yes, sir.
which is the closest one out of all these, but it's not used in his analysis. Did he
Right.
say why, or was that brought up to him, or? It just looked
Why
to me
he
a
didn't
real
use
good
it and
comp.
why he didn't use it or why I used it?
Yeah, well, maybe why he didn't use it and why you use it. It just looks to be a real good comp to me.
I don't know.
One that
We-
sold for, what is it, 435 on August of 2020?
Yes,
I
sir.
mean, it's got similar land size, similar
Yeah.
square footage size, similar age. I mean, it just,
It's pretty close.
yeah. I just keep looking at that one and just, but I know that's not part of the argument, that it's more.
Sure, he's speaking of the first one online.
Very good. Thanks,
Yeah, I didn't use that because it was average.
Okay, he didn't use it because it was of average quality. And the subject is average minus.
But that's a factor in that.
No, it's similar to the other appeal we heard between good minus and average plus. Yes, sir.
You're not talking like.
Tens of millions of dollars. No, sir.
Ray, you have any questions, Ray, for the county?
Yeah, so you just, this whole argument's on the improvements, and then you add the 169 for the
Yes, sir.
land, and you're good to go. Okay,
Yes, sir.
that's all I have.
And so what we've done is, I reduced the value by 3,000. The comper supports it at 344.7. We take out the land, 169.3. We come up with 175.2. And that's where we have him at, and it's supported by his sales,
All right, good
the
job.
median value.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Walker, I think we kind of got it. You got it? Any other comments?
Well, again, I don't understand how the moving average was calculated and based
Maybe
on,
you can get with Alan and discuss those issues of how that's.
I can give you just a
Okay.
two-second explanation on that. That is a third-party software that uses our sales data and our schedule value data. They do regression analysis, and it's a combination of regression analysis and sales comparison approach, where they're taking and making adjustments for factors that are different. And based on that, on the properties that are used, that's why they call it a moving average. So it's just a variation of the numbers. You can look at the comp report and you can see it takes value away for certain characteristics and adds value to certain characteristics. But that's where that comes from.
The moving average actually weights first, it weights the sales in the order that they're on the document.
Right.
So the most comparable sale number
All
one.
right,
would
did
have
you get all that? Does that matter to you?
well, yeah, I mean, you're saying there's other factors, and I'm saying, well, look at, if you just take the comparables and average, there's a significant difference. The other thing I want to point out is all the comparables had an actual sale value to go on, but mine didn't because it was inherited. And so that, I think, is another factor in favor, again, of saying somebody needs to come actually look at the house because, yeah, we just discussed the one porch factor on the phone, but like the ones that came out in Charlotte, then he even lowered it below what I put down because he saw other things.
Did you ask him to come out when y'all had conversations back and forth?
Well, I had put that in the letter. And again, because I just put that one factor, that's what our phone conversation focused on. And he agreed for that factor to lower it below 3,000. I probably didn't say, well, you still need to come out. I don't remember. But that is my feeling it would be more accurate if somebody actually looks at it.
So we're giving this house 122 square foot value per, or it's $122 per square foot, right? All right, so I'm gonna take advantage of somebody in the audience that chose to come for us today. Mr. Morrison, if you were building a 1,400 square foot house today, what's the cost per square foot?
That depends on the quality, Randy.
No, brand new,
I mean, depends on the quality.
just 1,400 square foot,
What kind of quality?
brick,
He's talking about quality.
3 bedroom, 2 baths, I mean, just,
Concrete slab.
I mean, that's a tough question to answer. I mean,
give me your, I want an opinion.
If you're talking about say a 2,000 square foot.
No,
brick,
1,400,
1,400
3 bedrooms, 2 baths.
brick.
No,
Huh?
two-bedroom.
Brick,
I imagine today it'd probably be $140 a square foot or better.
okay,
But
that's kind of,
That's a real tough question.
well, you know, because of materials.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand.
I thought I had it corrected. It is a two-bedroom, not a three-bedroom house. I called in previously and asked them to correct that.
How many baths?
Two.
2 and 2? Okay.
And one other thing, as far as my analysis, it also shows instances where the fair market value or the appraised value is higher than the actual sale value. So
Okay.
that raises
Well, thank you, Mr. Walkup. Appreciate your analysis and research.
Moving to parcel number 9 and 10 are going to be together, and that is parcel ID number 09-129-125-145 and 09-125-146. OCH is Peter Townsend, and OCH is Susan Carey. What's his name? OCH?
Are they here?
The parcels are located side by side. 145 is highlighted in blue, 146 is where the red X is, right beside it, at the end of the cul-de-sac on Canterbury Lane, which is off of Marion Lee, Highway 601, and east of Lake Lee, a finger of Lake Lee. There's the dam, the Monroe Country Club is at the top. I'll take the layers off. Yeah, see it, Monroe Country Club, and then 74 and 601 peel off. Come down 601.
All right,
We good?
it's in a subdivision,
No, it's a one street
one street,
dealio.
2 lots,
Yes, sir.
land only.
Vacant land, yes,
Okay,
sir.
vacant land.
I'm gonna put the parcels back on so we can see them, 145 and 146.
Do they need to perk?
I'll let him speak first.
Okay.
I'm trying, I've never met you, and I apologize, but we're just talking dollars here on your appeal.
Exactly.
Let's do it.
So, good morning.
Okay,
My wife and I are owners of these 2 lots that seemingly are wonderful. They're about 1 acre apart, 1 acre apiece. Both properties do not perk. We've tried over the last 9 years to get them to perk twice. They've just,
Provide the information to the county,
I sure did.
non-perk, that's what I asked you. All right.
So they're not buildable without any sewer lines. We've been told there's no plans for any sewer lines to come anytime soon, if ever. Both of these parcels also are low-lying. They have a big low-lying spot where there is flood that just runs through there like a torrent. Whenever you get any kind of significant rain, it just comes off of 601, and it is just really a horrible situation. And then it's standing water for about 2 weeks. There are no comps for these, so I kind of picked an arbitrary number. I said, yeah, whatever.
fine.
Okay, and what I will say is that I've had one person, I've tried selling them. I've had one person, an investor, that said that they'd give me $1,100 for each one, well below what I even asked for one of them. Okay, so
How long have you owned them?
Well, I've owned them for just about 5 years with my wife. My son was the previous owner that he bought them for, believe it or not, $16,000 for both of them back in 2012. Poor decision on his part. He did try to get it to perk shortly after. My wife and I.
Before he bought it or after he bought it? He tried to get it to perk?
I think right after he bought it, because he was kind of, yeah, exactly. Well, the realtor didn't give him very good guidance, and, we won't go into that. He was a young man. My wife and I said, let's get him out from underneath it. We can be more mature about how we deal with the property. So, and that's my story.
Okay.
Thank
Sir
you.
from the county. Oh, excuse me, just 1 minute. I need to ask, all right, Ray, you got any questions for this appellant?
You realize the county gave you well, let me listen to the county first. Never mind.
That's right.
Do it till we hear from the county.
Nothing.
All right. Thanks, sir.
All right. Parcel number 145 is 0.918. Parcel 146 is 1.119 acres. So both are buildable lots according to zoning. What's being handed out right now are the vacant land sales used to determine value in this neighborhood. This is a rural neighborhood. So we have 4 land sales in the similar size. The median sale price is $34,100 for 0.992 acres. At the bottom, what you see is a box that has both parcels listed, their acreage, the value we have on them, if they weren't affected by topography and the inability to perk. So we have given these parcels a 75% discount, 35% for no perk and 40% for topo. So what you're getting right now is an aerial from our pictometry. The red lines are 2-foot topo lines, and the big blue line is the creek that the owner mentioned. So from the cul-de-sac to the bottom of the V, and I will agree with the owner that it does V out pretty good, where the creek runs through, it's about a 10 or 12-foot decline in elevation, and then it looks like it rises back up, creating a natural channel for water to run. And you can see from the topo lines, they do run from the right-hand side of the page through the left, towards the lake, it looks like.
Yeah.
So we have a 75% discount if we value it like we value all other land, and because it's affected by no perk, which we have a letter from the owner or a previous appeal from 2012 that we still have on file. I have a copy of it if you'd like it, but we honor that no perk. So we're given a 25% discount, and that's where we're at $8,400 and $8,600 on the value.
Mike, any questions for the county?
Just that's how it's done throughout the county?
Absolutely, everywhere. Yep.
Everybody.
We value the parcel, and then we take off any influences.
Okay.
Do they have any access to public water?
I do not know that. I would not imagine that's the case in this area. Most of these.
They have a house right beside.
It is, yep.
You
And,
can see the topo problem even on the screen right here. It looks like it does drop off.
yep, right behind it. I think that's actually the creek, yep.
But we don't know if it has access to water.
I would assume not. I would assume not. I would assume these parcels are
But that's all the county can do as far as based on,
75% discount, yes, sir. We feel that's strong enough.
okay. No question.
Okay. Dutch?
I'm good.
Ray?
Taxpayers are aware of that discount, 75?
It was explained in the initial appeal.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Parcels number 11, 12, and 13 are going to be together. Parcel ID number 093-66002, 093-66004-80, 093-66004-90, and that is for Charlotte Pipe and Foundry Company.
all of these parcels are owned by the same company, but this one is going to be separate from the other. This is a 22.71 acre parcel. It's just past Charlotte Plastics main facility on Old Charlotte Highway, and it's almost directly across from Valley Parkway, and it is zoned industrial.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. So for this large parcel, yeah, it's just a large manufacturing facility. The county has a value of $24,672,000, and we are requesting a reduction to $22,150,000. And this is all the information that we submitted already.
You jumped ahead of us. All right, so.
What was that? I'm sorry?
Parcel 11, what's the parcel that, this is the vacant property?
Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah, I think I was mixed up then. Which parcel are we going over right now?
09366-002.
Okay, yeah, 002, gotcha. Okay, so for this one, this is just a vacant land parcel, 23 acres. And for this one, we're just going off of some comps that we have off of CoStar. And we've already submitted all this information to you guys, so you should have it. And for this one, we were just running comps for industrial land tracts, 10 to 50 acres in Union County. And let's see, the county currently has a value of $63,700 per acre for this, and we are requesting a reduction to $47,000 per acre. And that's basically just the average of the comps that we could find in the county. So that's basically what we did for that one.
Did you look at the county's comps that they use to come up with their value?
I did see a few, yeah. I believe those are sent.
Are they included in your comp?
I'm not sure if they're included in ours. I'm not sure about that.
Got it.
Yeah, I did check over a small list of comps. I believe it was for this property that we were sent, I think, yesterday or the day before from the appraiser. So yeah, I did take a look at those. But yeah, we were just going off of the average of all of these, land sales that we have here. So that's basically what we did for that one. So the county has a value of $1,446,000, and on this one, we're requesting $1,080,000.
All right,
Okay.
you can move on 12 now,
Okay, 12.
which is the large one.
Gotcha, okay, the large one. Yes, this is just a large manufacturing facility. It's about 950,000 square feet, and the county has a value of $24,672,000. And we're requesting a reduction to $22,150,000. And, again, that's just kind of based on these industrial sales comps that I have here. And the sales comps do show that the average sale per square foot is about $22 or $23, which is what we're requesting. And, again, the owner just feels that the value is a little too high. So that's all I've got for that one.
Okay,
That was number 12.
Yes, okay.
So your average per square foot on that one was how much?
23.
23,
Yes, yeah, that's the requested
okay.
per square foot value. Okay, and then I believe the last parcel we have here is 00490. So this one is, it's 185 acres.
Can y'all pull that up? I don't see that property.
The one right beside this one that's on our screen.
Yes, that's in
33.
Oh, sorry about that.
It is, isn't it?
I guess.
Yeah,
Come on,
yeah, that's it.
Am I right? All right.
And it'll also be this other parcel. It's a 80-90, it's just split. It's all one big contiguous parcel, but it's split by 80-90 inside the city, outside the city. That's the only reason that it's, let's see if we can move it just a little bit.
Oh, that's, okay.
That's a good shot.
That's a little bit better there.
Yeah.
And then the other, it's got a large pond on it,
I believe it does, yeah, it's a retention pond or something of that sort.
but part of your facility is on this track, right?
What was that, I'm sorry?
Part of your facility or parking or something is on the subject track.
Yeah, no, I do think it looks that way, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, but yeah, for this parcel, it's 185 acres, industrial, and it's basically all land. It just has a small, I believe it's a warehouse of some kind that has a value of 414,000. So the majority of the values are, it's basically all land. The county has a value of 3,780,000, and we're requesting a reduction to 2.8 million. And we're not asking for any reduction on the improvement. We're just kind of going off the land value. So for this one, we just ran kind of a similar thing. We just did some comps for industrial sales. And for this one, we did, I believe, over 100 acres. And that was showing the average acre or sale price per acre to be about 13,000, which is what we're requesting on this one.
Same question on the land.
Yeah.
Did you happen to see the comps the county has on them?
I don't believe I saw the ones on this one. I think the only comps that I reviewed was on the last parcel. So I'm not sure if I saw these ones. Yeah.
Thanks.
Mike, you got any questions?
No, sir.
Ray?
No.
Dutch?
Okay.
Not here from the county.
Okay, here from the county, thank you.
Okay, gotcha. Will I just be sent a copy of this decision through email, I guess? Will I just be sent a 30 days? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, gotcha. All right, well, thank you all.
Thanks for your time. Judd?
All right, let's start with, back to 11, the vacant piece. Yeah, I probably would help, wouldn't it? The vacant parcel, like I said, it's zoned light industrial, it's 22.71 acres. I looked at the comps that they used, and they're not from the area, so a lot of these, they say that they're commercial comps, but they're really residential. Just about every single one of the comps that were provided were residential comps, sales, except for their comp number 14. There was one on Gold Mine Road that was 24 acres. It sold for $53,000 an acre. So that would be an inferior location. It wouldn't have quite the exposure that this piece would. At the very end of your packet, I have a comparison between, and I have a comparable sale map of just a couple of sales that are right in the immediate area. Well, one is not. It's over. It's the apartments back where Redwood off Secrets Price Road. That was a back piece of land that sold. That went for $47,894 an acre. We're at $67,000 an acre. Just about 2 parcels over from where we are. This parcel right here, if you look at the map, 09366 020, that was commercial piece. Well, it's conditional zoning, so it could have been a number of things. That parcel sold for $407,000 an acre, and so we're at $67 an acre, so I didn't feel like I had anywhere I could go on this, this piece. We also had...
What was that number again?
That was,
The acre, price per acre.
67,000?
400, for us, for the subject, is 67,000. That one sold for 407,000 an acre.
Right. Okay, I got you.
And like I say, the best sale that they provide was on Gold Mine Road, and it was at 53 an acre, which I would consider inferior. All right, as far as the manufacturing facility, I looked at their comps, and a lot of the comps were smaller properties, inferior properties, some of them, not all of them, but basically what we have is a large compound complex of buildings, and we have about 1 million square feet is what we're talking about for all of the buildings involved. So I tried to find some sales that were somewhere in the neighborhood closer to 1 million square feet instead of 100,000, 200,000, 300,000. And I came up with some comps, and they're in your packet. But roughly, based on our sales, let me find the sheet there. They came up to about $54 a square foot for properties with this much acreage and that much square footage. And the comps are there and available for you in your packet. You know, we're trying to do the two together instead of separate them because it's one facility, so the 80 and the 90 are going to be the two combined. If you look at those, you know, we're talking about one tract has 99 acres, the other one has 85 acres. One's at 47,000 an acre for the main parcel there, and then for that has more of the backland, it's $39,000 an acre. I have some comparable sales in the packet. They were provided to the appellant. So what we're coming out, if you look at the two parcels combined, we're $28,452,900, which is $26.75 a square foot. And the comparables I found were in the 50s. So I felt like, if anything, this is probably undervalued property, that we probably need to do a good QA on all the buildings and take a closer look at it in the future.
Any questions for the county, Ray? Dutch?
No, I'm good.
Mark? You gone? All right, thank you.
Coming to parcel,
Mr. Chairman, you may want to take a 5-minute recess. You may want to take a 5-minute recess.
Okay, we're going to take a short recess. And I also want to apologize to you, so myself and Mr. Hardison,
I'm pushed out till 11:30.
oh, you pushed out, okay.
I think I can.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Never mind then, we'll take a short recess.
While I'm sitting here on my email.
Carl. Yeah, I think I can, I think I'm gonna be all right. Okay. No, man, you go, huh? Hey, sir. I'm tied up. Go ahead and be looking for her, Carla Milhorn, and just tell the girls at the teller line that she's gonna ask for me. Perfect. Appreciate that, pal. All right, I'll talk to you in a little bit and see. Bye. Rob and James, y'all don't have anything to do anyway, did you?
We're just charging about an hour.
I appreciate you coming, and good seeing you guys.
I'm supposed to be somewhere short.
Is yours the next one?
Yeah.
We took a half-hour break then.
We're gonna drive you real quick.
What's he looking at? I'm staying until the bitter end. Yeah, that one where we had it.
Did you do that just for us? Do you like that job?
one time, this has been 40 years ago. We got one, already repoed it, once you drive back in the road. It's like, it's a Monte Carlo. I don't like taking road, I mean, having, you know, road and that. I said, how come you didn't drive it that way? All right. Belma, let's hear the next case. Yep.
All right, so moving to parcel number 14, parcel ID number 093690007B, Papa Delta Holdings LLC.
All right, this is a manufacturing facility on Airport Road. It's just down the street from Charlotte Plastics here.
All right, gentlemen, thank you for your patience.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, I'm James Allen Lee. I'm here on behalf of Papa Delta Holdings 1 LLC. Rob Morrison is here. He did some valuation analysis for us on this and talk. And one thing I want to point off right off the bat, when we sent in the appeal, we had engaged Rob, and he was talking with the environmental consultant. So we had put $1 as the value with the statement stating that we were getting that evaluated. Our opinion of value is $3,023,000, not $1. But look, this boils down to, in my opinion, a pretty simple point. And I do have, we sent you a copy of the Integra appraisal from November of 2020, which we used the income approach there, which is actually within $7,000, give or take, of what the county's valuation is. And our stance is that this is a Brownsfield site, and I have a copy of the Brownsfield notice here. I actually have 8 copies of it to pass, because there are just a couple of things I want to point out. In essence, this is a Brownsfield site, and I'm sure y'all are familiar with what Brownsfield sites are. And what the Brownsfield program does is it provides a method for people to be able to purchase property and use property that has environmental contamination and past remediation on it moving forward. And it protects the landowner from liability, those future purchasers after it's in there, from liability for that past environmental contamination remediation costs. It does have some future obligations that are in there. And I gave a copy of the Brownsfield property notice here, and I would, there are land restrictions, et cetera, that are involved with it, but there's also some continuing monitoring. And I point to page 6 of the notice, paragraph 2, where it says the owner of the portion of the Brownsfield property containing the building, denominated the Schrader Bridgeport building, has to abide by the plan, and they have to submit samples. Now, the air sampling has been eliminated. There's still well sampling here that takes place, and there is a cost associated with that. The cost is $72,000 a year. It is being paid by the prior owner, and the county made the determination that because the owner of the property is not paying those remediation costs, that it is not an expense that can be taken into account when we are looking at the income approach.
Have they done any kind of court action on the previous owner? You said the previous owner was obligated to pay $72,000 per year?
Well, 72,000 per year is the cost now. The Brownsfield agreement requires there to be these monitoring taking place. That is
Correct.
what the cost is, and it goes on. They are paying. It is
Oh,
a
okay.
cost associated with this property.
Gotcha.
That we are wanting to use as an expense, because it is an expense associated to the land, to the property. It runs with the land. That's why I wanted you to see the notice here, and it is enforceable. Now, if the prior developer decides to quit paying, yes, Diener, our owner, anyone else could have a remedy in court trying to go after them to get those
Right.
amounts. If they don't, the Brownsfield designation could be taken away, and then the uses that are allowed that allow our client to operate would not be there, and they would, at that point, have to either pay for those monitoring services themselves or not. But my point is, look, when you're using the income approach, you're deducting taxes, you're deducting all these expenses that are associated with the piece of property. This piece of property is a Brownsfield site. There is a notice. Everyone knows that. It is part of the fair market value of that property, what those expenses are. Just like a triple net lease. You know, you have a tenant paying the taxes, but that's not it doesn't matter who's making that payment. That is a payment that is associated with that piece of property. If I can talk someone into paying my expenses, great on me, right? But it is an expense. It is an expense that's associated with that property and its use that cannot be done away with, and it is a factor in the fair market value of that property. Anyone who is purchasing commercial property like this is going to take into account the Brownsfield status and review the documentation and find out what those things are. Our client did when they purchased the property.
Does that ever expire to where they said, all right, the Brownsfield?
I'm not an environmental expert, Mr. Chairman. However, the answer is yes. The vapor remediation stuff here has already been, the levels were low enough, long enough that they did not do it. It's still the groundwater monitoring that is taking place. If it ever gets to the point, and I don't know what that delineation is,
Yeah.
Diener can make
So this doesn't have an expiration date?
It does not, and it specifically says in there that it does not expire unless or until that happens, and it runs with the land and is enforceable against any owner of the property. Okay, again, they're absolved from that liability for the prior contamination. They can't be made to go remediate it, but if they
current owner,
don't
right.
comply with the plan,
Perfect.
their uses are gone. And so I've got Rob here to address how we made the adjustment to the value on that income that took us from the $3,877,000 to the $3,023,000 that we believe is the value. But we believe the county assessor used an arbitrary method of valuation by refusing to allow the Brownsfield monitoring costs as an expense related to the property, which makes the assessed value substantially exceed the fair market value as of 1/1/21.
Now, I heard you say $3,023,000. Is that what I heard you say, James Allen?
It is, yes, sir.
That's what you think?
Yes, sir. Now, I have Rob here. He's the one that came up with the methodology.
You made a statement if you could get someone to pay your bills. Well, is that not in fact what you're doing? Someone is paying that money you're saying you're being for this Brownfield site? It's not coming out of your pocket, right?
No, and I'm an attorney for the owner, so it wouldn't be coming out of my pocket anyway.
Well, okay.
But just like on a triple net lease, when you have a tenant that's paying your taxes, that's still an expense that is taken into account when you were looking at valuing that property, even though someone else is making the payment. Again, our argument is these expenses run with this land, which is what we're valuing. We're not valuing Papa Delta 1. We're valuing this land, and this land has this expense associated with it.
And basically what we did, we took Integra's appraisal, and I talked to Joe, and I said, instead of me recreating a brand-new appraisal, because the appraisal was so recent in 2020, all I did is I took their income approach, and we took the information provided by the environmentalist, which was $70,000 a year as an expense that had to be paid. If this property was sold, somebody is, going to look at that environmental problem, and they're going to take that into account. And when Integra did the appraisal for them, they noted in the appraisal that it's in Brownsfield, but they did not take anything off for environmental. So I just took the income approach, I talked to Joe, and I sent him their rents, and I added the $72,000 in there as an expense. Basically, use the same cap rate they had, and basically it goes from when you reduce that and you cap it off at 8.5%, it comes out to be $3,023,000 instead of their value was $3,870,000, which was very similar to the value that the county had with no, environmental factors taken into consideration. So, anybody got a question on that?
So, if I'm a potential buyer from the current owner, just like you said, I've got to abide by this. I can't do anything else with the property, particularly on the brownfield area. So that, to me, it hurts the potential sellability of the property because you have to adhere to these brownfield restraints.
Yeah,
I'm going to call it that.
Plus, you're going to have to pay somebody, if you buy that property, you're going to have to pay somebody or talk somebody into paying that $72,000 a year till that gives away. So that comes off your bottom line.
So the current owner's not paying the 72, the past owner's paying 72.
Correct.
So does that move up to if the current owner sells it, does that move his obligation to pay the 72 until the potential buyer?
The way I understand it, there's no written agreement. Isn't that what it was? That as far as he is not.
There's no written agreement.
Yeah.
Diener can only come and disallow the Brownsfield agreement from the new owner. So, for example, if the prior owner quit paying for the well monitoring, Diener cannot come and say, you have to pay for this well monitoring, Papa Delta. But they can say, Papa Delta, if the well monitoring does not get done, you cannot utilize this site for any of these methods, including light manufacturing. So they would have to shut their plant down. So in essence, they have an enforcement mechanism to say the new owner has to pay the $72,000 for the monitoring, because if the monitoring is not there, then you don't get the benefit of the Brownsfield moving forward.
Whew, okay.
Whoa.
Ready, any questions for these
So
fine
that's an
gentlemen?
ongoing thing then, huh? 72,000.
It is, unless or until Diener says that it's remediated to the point where there's no contamination, and I can't tell you when or if that.
I have just one other question for the other gentleman. I see in here, you took the county's direct capitalization analysis and just adjusted it for the 72,000?
Yeah, I took not the counties, but I took Integra's appraisal, which was done for the company, and it
Okay.
was a recent appraisal. And so I just, instead of redoing a whole new appraisal, I used that recent appraisal and deducted the 72,000 out of that.
And you accepted the cap rates and
Yeah,
all
the
that?
cap rates were good. Integra's a very, very reliable company.
Okay, thank you.
And it was within $7,000 of the county's assessed value, Integra's, without adjustment, yes.
Gotcha.
No questions. I mean, I think both of Mr. Lee and Mr. Morrison know I'm very familiar with the property. And just for the record, by statute, I don't abstain because it's not personal, so I'll be involved, with that. I just kind of wanted to make sure you understood that I cannot abstain.
Is this Michelle Potovan?
It is.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Well, he's a portion, yes.
Yeah, yeah. No, Michelle. Mike, any questions? Okay, let's hear from the county. Thank you, gentlemen.
All right, all the information that you heard was absolutely correct, everything that they explained, but what we're looking at is a hypothetical. We're looking at something that has not occurred. They're asking for us to lower the value below what it is, which is right at what the fee appraiser had that did for the bank, which that was not disclosed at the time to the appraiser. So we don't feel like we need to make an adjustment on something that has not occurred. And I don't think that you can use dollar for dollar reduction on something that hasn't occurred to weigh the risk that someone would associate with purchasing it. I just feel like that they failed to provide an adequate amount of reduction. I think that it's too much. I look back and, you know, the current owner, knowing that it was a brownfield, paid $3.3 million for it in 2012. And they're asking for $3 million, which is less than what they paid in 2012. So we normally, when something is not, you know, total agreement, once it happens, we'll be glad to make a reduction. We'll be glad to take a look, but it has not occurred. It is not occurring currently. And so it's just like if we say there's a bypass coming through and you're going to have a freeway right behind your house, we don't do it until it actually occurs. It's the same basic structure that we have on that I'm providing here.
Okay. Mike, any questions for Joe? Dutch, any questions for Joe?
I'm good.
Ray? Thank you, Joe.
All right.
Mr. Chairman, if I could make one comment.
You sure can.
And just to clarify, $72,000 a year is being paid for monitoring currently, every year. Papa Delta is not paying it. $72,000 is being paid every year for monitoring at this site currently. It's not like a bypass might come back. It is there. It is an expense associated with the property pursuant to the Brownsville notice.
Mm-hmm.
What Joe was speaking to was the fact that it hasn't occurred that the previous owner has not stopped paying the $72,000 a year. So speaking with Joe, I think he's, at any time that they do decide to quit paying that yearly fee, then he would have no problem considering that amount at that time. But as long as they're paying it, feels like that issue has been taken care of for that time being.
Okay. Thank you, Brad.
Excuse me. Tab number 15 is a no-show. Moving to tab number 16, 17, and 18 are going to be heard all together, and that is parcels ID number 07087007, parcel ID number M7069123, and parcel number N7069123. And the owner, 600 Radiator Road, LLC.
All right, this is industrial facility on Radiator Road off Old Monroe Road. This is just be north of Sun Valley. There's the movie theater. If you head north on Sun Valley, it's going to be right there. And this includes 3 parcels. This one, the main parcel with the improvements, and then you have 2 other parcels, one here, one here. They're kind of like offshoots to this property, but they're included and part of this appeal.
Okay. Is this property that is an ongoing operating facility, or is it shut down?
Radiator shut down, and then we purchased it, and we're trying to lease it up.
And this is this Dennis Mosier, Ingram Waters, or are you at liberty to tell who all the owners are?
Well, the owner is 600 Radiator Road LLC, and I'm the manager of that. My name is Pat Pierce.
Okay. Well, go ahead if you don't mind.
All right, be happy to. Thank you for your time today. The first thing I want to mention is that we, looks like we It says on here we did not provide a opinion of value. We did. I guess maybe I didn't fill out the form correctly. But our opinion of value is $7,575,000.
Of all three?
Of all three. So we're looking at this as combined. I think the tax authorities are doing the same thing as well. And really, I'll get into some details, but we're basing that on the fact that we purchased the property on September 30, 2020, so 3 months before the valuation, and we purchased it for this $7,575,000. And that really is the crux of our appeal. Now, some of the details behind that, and I've given you a summary sheet here, and I'm sorry I didn't provide this to you ahead of time, but just trying to hit the highlights. 73 acres, 334,059 square feet. The county has it at $10,181,000. We think the value is $7,575,000. The reply that we got, not the replay, but the reply we got from the county was that we did not consider a sale leaseback an arm's length transaction. And if you look on the second sheet of your package there, you'll see a survey that shows the entire parcel, the 73 acres and the 330,000 feet.
This right here?
Yes, that right there. Okay. And then we show the footprint for the portion of the site that was leased back from Radiator as part of our purchase. And that portion is 17,000 square feet, or about 5% of the total square footage. So 5% of the total square footage was, and then I've got supporting documents behind that, this agreement for purchase and sale. This is just to highlight the fact of what we paid for it. The next page shows how much they're leasing from us, the $17,550. It's in that second line under seller lease. And what else have I included here? Well, I'll get to the rest of that in just a second.
Did you have an appraisal done last year when you bought the property?
We have had an appraisal done as of, we've actually had 2 appraisals done, one for original loan that we did not take, and then we had another appraisal done for another loan that we did not take, or that we did take.
Are you at liberty to say what those values were? You said 2 appraisals?
We had 2 appraisals. I would say that they were good for us for our loan. I don't think they're good for us for this conversation. And the reason being is because the reason we think the value is what it is versus what the county is appraising it for is that it's environmentally contaminated. The appraisals really didn't take that into account when they prepared they really based it on the existing buildings and potential leasing, et cetera, which hadn't occurred yet.
Did you provide was there a phase 1 or phase 2 on this environmental?
There's been, the documents for the environmental would probably cover the floor of this room. There's that much information on it. Radiator Supply was the owner. They manufactured out there. And so if you look, and I'll jump to that, but if you look on the last 2 pages of your package there, this is what we've tried to reflect here. This is in this page here. So the blue is where the groundwater contamination is. The yellow outline is our site. The blue is the groundwater contamination. And I know y'all are experienced. I don't really need to probably explain that much, but there's contamination in the actual groundwater itself, and they're remediating that. This next page right here, the orange is where the soil contamination is. In addition, you also have 2 what they call impoundment areas that are recorded, that are areas on the site that can never be used for anything. They're called impoundments. And that's where they had lagoons for all the waste from the manufacturing processes they'd send to a lagoon. And of course, it's severely contaminated that area there. So you've got serious contamination on the site. And that's really the crux of why the value is what we think it is. And it was an arm's length transaction, obviously. We don't have any relationship with Radiator Specialty until we put this under contract. They're a very big company. I think they know what they're doing on their side as well. The tax card in the package that the county has given us says the 2021 value assumes the process, and when they talk about the process, we're talking about the remediation process, environmental remediation, is complete. I think that's dated, actually I don't know when that's dated, but it's in the tax card. So the county assumes remediation is complete. I will tell you, the remediation is, will likely probably never be complete. The site also is under called a RCRA permit. I don't know if you all are familiar with that. The previous folks talked about a Brownsfield permit. We applied for that. As of January, we didn't have it. We have since then have gotten a Brownsfield on the site as well. A RCRA permit is a permit that's done by, it's administered by North Carolina, but it's really a federal permit, and allows Radiator, basically they have an agreement with the federal government to remediate the groundwater, and as part of that permit, they also have to provide financial assurance for the next 30 years that remediation will occur. And the way it works is that they spend roughly $50,000 a year in remediating groundwater. They pump the groundwater up to this system that then they call it an air sparger, and then they send the groundwater, the clean groundwater back to the creek. They have posted about $1.7 million in financial assurance with DEQ and with the federal government for continued remediation. So that's not going to stop anytime soon.
All right, so I'm gonna go back to your page right here, the groundwater.
Right.
Okay. But nobody is digging wells on this property or anymore. I mean, there's county water out there, I'm assuming?
There's county water, yes, there's water out
Okay.
there.
So actually, this is the only property that has a real problem, the orange.
Well, not based on what the government tells us.
But if one understand, if you wanted to sell a lot here to the right to this property, because the groundwater is contaminated doesn't mean that you can't sell that lot. Is that right?
I think everything you can sell has got a price. It's just how it's impaired, right?
But, okay, so this property, I'm assuming this property has water and sewer available, Union County water and sewer
Yes.
availability, okay.
Yes.
Are you inhibited by the, there's not a moratorium out there, but are you, can you hook on to sewer out here and sell these lots and then have them hook on to Union County sewer, or are you inhibited right now doing that?
Well, we actually improve, I'm not too sure what your question is. It's all one parcel. It's right now, there are no lots. I mean, it's one parcel. It's all one thing. It's not subdivided. We can't sell pieces of it off. It's either all or nothing, because we'd have to subdivide the property first, make the sewer public, pardon me, go through that process. So it's all in total.
Okay.
We can't carve it off.
Okay.
We can't carve anything off right now.
Ray, you have any
I don't know if
questions?
that answers your
No,
question.
it does. It
Okay.
No?
I've just got one other piece I'll give you too, that the comps that the county has sent to me, it was just interesting that none of those comps are in Union County. Not one. They're all in Mecklenburg County. Mecklenburg County's got a lot more industrial buildings, but I don't think Mecklenburg values are Union County values.
Dutch?
I wanted to be sure I followed the environmental piece of it. It is now in a brownfields program?
It is now in, yes, as of April of this year. Yeah.
And a good question there. So the blue and the orange are in brownfield, or just the orange?
The entire site is in the brown, so it's our site. It's not where the contamination is. As you see, the groundwater, goes beyond our site.
I did see that.
So that's a discussion for another day. Radiator Specialty owns that land across the railroad. We don't own that, but we have a brownfields on our site, which is that yellow outline,
Which
our
is
parcel.
all 3 tax parcels.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha.
Mike, you got any questions? Well, let's hear from the county if you don't mind, sir, and we'll come back to you.
All right,
Thank
sounds
you.
good. Thank you.
Good information.
Okay, as far as the new Brownsfield, not aware of that one, but there was one prior in 2010, and I'm sure he has a new one. Reductions on Brownsfield for the county are done kind of like an exemption. It's when they file with the state and it's certified that that's what it is, there are hefty reductions on the improvements on the property given each year, and it's declining balance, is my understanding. So therefore, most of any type of reduction that we give is run through that process. Now, this was a sale leaseback. A sale leaseback, we generally don't use those as comparables because it's more of a financing tool. When you're short of money or you need funds, you will sell it to someone and then lease it back, free up that money that you can use, especially if you're distressed or any other situation that you might need, or if you want to expand or grow your business. So therefore, when I bring comps to you that you've always seen, you will not see a sale leaseback, because in a definition of market value, that sale leaseback, or the market sale, should have adequate exposure and marketing time to the market. And most sale leasebacks don't have that. I tried to find where it had been listed, and I don't know, maybe the current owner could speak to that, but we felt like that, and the comparables that I selected were based on the age of the property and the size of the property. And we're not going to have those type of sales. They're not going to be abundant in Union County. We just don't have them. So you do have to go outside the area. The comps that I found were $37 a square foot. We're at $30 a square foot. And that reduction would account for a difference in location, I feel like. So therefore, we felt like the sale leaseback was not truly arm's length, and that when you don't, and if you don't have that, that's how you verify, say, okay, was this actual market? Because most of the time when people purchase on a sale leaseback, the purchaser is going to get a pretty good deal on it because the owner needs that money, but they're an investor. They're investing in this. So they need a return on that as well. So they're not generally paying the market value. That's why most of the time we don't use these as comparables when we see them. And so we didn't feel like, based on our cost approach and based on the comps that I found, we did not feel like that we should reduce the property.
So you're saying that there was a collaboration there, said if you'll buy it at this price, we'll lease it back from you, rather than selling it to somebody and them leasing it to another party. So the party that was on the property and sold it stayed in the building.
That's my understanding, but you may want to ask the current owner.
Okay. And so you're saying because of there's an agreement there that the purchase price was less than what it was actually worth?
Yes.
I think what the taxpayer was saying, we're getting validated, there was a small percentage of the square footage that the current owner leased back.
One of the buildings, I don't know. I think it's in his pack. I don't know the exact details of exactly how much they leased back and how much is available. He could probably speak to that. I think I briefly scanned his packet. That may be in there.
Without me looking, so how many square feet are under roof in this facility?
I believe it's around 300,000,
Okay. So, yeah, so that really,
two buildings.
300,000, and they're only leasing back 17,000 square feet, so 5% of it roughly, 6%. Did you take into consideration that? Because, I mean, you're saying that they bought 300,000 square feet, but they're only leasing 17,000 square feet. So that's not real significant the way I look at it.
Right. I agree.
Mr. Chair, if I may add just a bit of information here without divulging too much. Rental Service, Radiator Specialty Corp. went out of business.
Correct.
They've got a minimal presence there, and there were some legal matters involved with the closing of the business. So I'm not sure what all the circumstances are around the sale of the property itself, but we do know that there's other issues that impact them going out of business and selling that property.
And if I'm an investor, this might be the deliberation stage, but if I'm an investor and I know this property's got problems, I want a deal. It's kind of the way I look at it. I mean, I don't want to pay it. He should pay full price without the groundwater, without the brownfield. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Any more, sir, do you have any more comments before we? Because I'm not trying to take sides here, I'm trying to understand
No, I understand, and this is not a big point. I think you all have captured it pretty well. I will tell you on the sale leaseback, the dynamics of that usually are the price is usually inflated because you've got on a typical sale leaseback, it's usually for the entire building, and it's usually that someone wants to see a bigger purchase price. They'll pay a lease rate commensurate with that, but they work in tandem. The lease rate and the price will work together to get a return for the investor, and that dynamic usually is for that price to be higher rather than lower. So that's just my experience as a real estate developer.
Did you buy the building from Radiator Specialty?
Radiator Specialty, yes.
You bought it from that entity?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know if there was a sale between.
They have got several entities, corporate entities that they use.
But from the time they went out of business until the time you bought it, it was the same entity. No, the entity didn't change of the property, I'm assuming.
No, it didn't. That was the entity was on the title, and that's who we bought it from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, sir.
We are ready to start deliberating.
Yes, we are.
Tab number 1, hearing parcel ID number 06150-174.
I had on this one that, I thought the county values looked good on this one.
Don't disagree.
Yeah, trying to get back to it here, I'm just looking at my notes.
I didn't see any additional evidence to.
Do I hear a recommendation or a motion that we accept the county's valuation?
Yeah, I'll make the motion that we stay with the county value at $733,800, noting that the county did lower their value, by about $40,000.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Got a second from Mr. Ray. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Like sign, no. Thank you.
Parcel ID number 06156-004B.
So we were talking about this one. This one, this was the one that had, was off the road. They had, let's see, let me make sure I get my, let's see. Yeah, it was originally built in 1976, and then the new owner built around it.
Yep.
They paid $550,000 for it in January of 2020. There's no garage, but there was an outbuilding.
They said they thought the appraised value was around 559. But they weren't sure.
Exactly, well, that's, yeah, and then,
The county's at 616. I mean, I didn't have any notes here that were having me reduce it any further than where it already was, based on what I heard and what I saw.
The county had already reduced it some anyway, so
Yeah.
I'll make a motion, we stick with the county.
I have a motion that we go with the county's assessment.
I'll second.
Got a second from Dutch. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Like sign, no. Thank you.
Tab number 5, parcel ID number 092352210.
I'm going to suggest that we, she's got 2 bedrooms, 1 bath. The house was built in 1901, I saw. There, I think the county mentioned there was a reduction normally of $10,000 for having less than 3 bedrooms. So I would suggest we lower her value to $165 is my suggestion.
Mr. Chairman, excuse me for interrupting. I believe we're on tab number 4, which was a no-show. We still need to vote on a no change.
All right, can I come back to that one? So
Sure.
we're on this one,
Of course.
okay?
Yep.
I'll
Yes,
be
sir.
glad, thank you for,
Yep.
You said 165.
unless you disagree, I mean, I'm just suggesting that.
It's kind of there too, in that range, you know.
Yeah,
165, 300, right?
well, I'm just going to round it to
165?
165, yeah.
Okay, I'll recommend that.
Is it, you mean to make that in the form of a motion?
Yes, sir.
Okay, do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Okay, I got a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Like sign, no, thank you.
And Mr. Chairman, just for clarification, that was 165 straight?
I just went to 165 even, that was the
Yeah.
motion. Parcel number 4 is a no-show. Do I hear a recommendation we go with the county's evaluation?
So moved.
Here a second? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Like sign, no. Thank you, Robin, for pointing that out.
Mr. Chairman.
Number 6 is a no-show. Do I hear a motion that we accept the county's evaluation?
Make a motion.
We got a motion from Mike,
Second.
second from Dutch. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, thank you. Number 7 is a no-show. Do I hear a motion that we accept the county's evaluation?
So move, make a motion, we stick with the county.
Okay, got a motion?
Second.
Second from Dutch. All in favor, say aye. Aye, thank you. Mr. Walkup, number 8.
I just kind of get back, hey, I want to make sure I'm on the right one here.
He's the one down on, down near Can Creek.
Yeah. I was really puzzled why county's got a good comp there in comp 1, and I was just kind of puzzled why it wasn't in there to start with.
Well, he made a specific point that every time his had been revalued, when they inspected it, it was always lowered. You know, if that's something we may need to get them to do, to walk through it and see if it's worth what they got it valued.
Ben, can you look back and, or Robin, see what the past tax value was on this property?
Sure. $274,700. I'm pulling up the property record card.
2015.
Mr. Chairman,
Sure.
I want to go back to parcel 5, Ms. McHale. You made a motion to reduce that to 165. If we, as opposed to putting just a number in the system, in the valuation system, if we change the grade on that property from average plus to average, it would take her to 164.
Yep.
782.
I'm good with,
So
I hear a
can we
motion
just
to do that?
And can we
Please.
re-vote on that one
Yeah.
and changing the quality?
Let's do that.
Okay.
Okay, do I hear a motion?
Motion.
Motion from Ray, second.
Second.
Second from Dutch, all in favor, say aye. Aye, thank you.
Where'd the keyboard go?
Thank you, Ms. McHale.
Thank you.
That way it'll stay with it in the future,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
And
Right.
she might not have this issue next time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because from a valuation standpoint, we don't assign value to bedrooms and bathrooms because we don't know, it's our guess when we go into a property that's being built, how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms gonna have based on the floor plan that we may have. Sometimes we have to make that call from the outside. So the schedule of values actually doesn't assign 10,000 or 15,000 to a bedroom or 20,000 to a bath, or whatever that may be. It's based on total square footage.
I'm good.
So,
If I may add one thing, if the grade is quality is right, we can put it in that would be functional obsolescence. We can put it in that field, it'll stay with it as well.
yeah.
That,
We'll make sure we get it down to whatever adjustment we need to make on that quality grade or obsolescence. We'll make sure we get it down to at least a 165 or lower, based on that
so it'll
decision.
stay
Yeah.
perpetually with the property.
Right.
Perfect.
And brought up the assessed value for Mr. Walkup's property, for
Oh, okay, thank you.
2021, 2020, and 2019. Did you want to see any more years, or is that enough? I can show the other ones if you want.
That's perfect.
We're good.
I didn't have anything that made me convinced otherwise. I thought, just looking at the comps that the county had, that the number was, I thought it was pretty good.
And then,
Based
yeah,
on comps.
and his valuation of comparable square footage in the counties was not that far apart.
Right, right. And a lot of the, trying to think on his, they were older sales too. I had, a lot of them were 19 sales.
That's the 344.5.
What about you, Mike?
Y'all good with it? I am.
I'll make a motion, we stay with the county's number of 344,500.
Second.
I got a second from Ray and Mike, so all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign no, thank you. We got those nice lots out there on Marion Lee. That, off the record, there was a planned subdivision out your way, wasn't there, or out this lot, and then they shot it down, didn't they?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Wasn't there a planned new housing development plan for out there, and
Yeah, it's still, I think they're still trying.
I heard there was a lot of pushback, yeah.
There has been. Gentlemen, the only thing I would say about the assessment that the appraiser had done is he's doing it based on property which already has houses on it. So he's valuing the land with property that already has houses on it.
Mr. Chairman, you
Yeah, we
you can't take additional testimony
Yeah.
during
I
deliberations.
appreciate your comments, yeah, well, you can listen, I'm sorry. Okay. But I feel your pain, I understand.
Was this the one that's getting,
Are
already
these-
getting 75%?
It was actually, it was 80, was it 75, yeah, 75%
Already getting
of,
75%.
if it was a buildable lot. The county's saying it's 34,000. But then this is 75% of that value.
So there's no difference with what the county's already applied to it for the no per in the TOPO? Just to make sure I got my terminology right, is it unbuildable? And
Yeah.
is there a difference when the county says unbuildable versus what we have?
I mean, he's got a creek running through both these parcels. So he'd have to deal, if somebody, if you got water and sewer out there, then you got a serious topo problem.
They would be one and the same. They would get down to the 75% off the unbuildable for a subdivision lot versus where we have it now. That's usually the lowest we go is 25% good on the property.
Same thing, Robin, I want to see the value, the previous tax values. Sorry, Brad, I didn't cut you off.
You're fine.
That's it, that was my number.
I'll put it up on the screen. I got it. Thanks, Brad. I grabbed my paper this time. Is there a difference between the two?
Yes, we had $3,700 on one lot previously and $4,000 on the other, $300 difference.
You can let me just see, whichever one you prefer.
Yeah, I grabbed 45. There you can see the no perk. So there's the assessed value.
So it's 37. I should have saw that. Okay, that's his, well, so you grabbed, well, we can't, but he grabbed the previous valuation for his valuation.
Yeah. Looks like back in 17, 16, 15, we might have gotten the no perk information.
And for topo, 25%'s been applied.
Yes, I believe that total 75% off.
The 75% is inclusive of both topo
And perk.
I want to do this right. I mean, kind of what I was going to recommend was getting those numbers down to about 5,000 per lot. So I don't know if it's easier to increase the percentage so it stays with it, or is it to put a number on it?
We can put a percentage on this, on the influence that will stay with it.
Okay.
We can just increase the amount off on that. Right now, both are bundled together under the unbuildable influence, so we don't have a topo and no perk. They're bundled together under unbuildable to 75% off, so we can just increase that to whatever to get to the euro.
So I could make the motion just to increase the influence to get it to approximately I could just say 5,000 or slightly less.
Correct.
So based on what I did, 85% of that $33,000 lot, that's $4,950.
Okay.
So if you want to do 85%, what would you call reduction? Or?
We'll do it at 85, I think it's to your number of 5 on the low.
Yeah.
I'll make that in the form of a motion.
Okay. Do we hear a second? Second. Okay, we got a second by Ray. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you.
And just to read into the record, that applies to both
Correct.
the 145 and the 146.
That's correct.
Yes.
And I'll make a statement to you, sir. Of course, if this thing ever comes back around, you get water sewer, it's going to pop right back up, you know.
Moving on to tab number 11, 12, and 13.
I didn't see
I didn't have
any evidence that
any convincing evidence.
no
on
that we vote against the county's evaluation
Right.
No.
on all three tracks, or what are you going to call it?
The biggest thing that stuck out to me, I mean, is the county had it on at $26 per square foot, and the comps are at 50.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that, with that, yeah, I mean, you in the middle of a motion, right?
No, good comment. I'll move that we stick with the county value.
I have a motion that we stick with the county's value. Do I hear a second?
Is that on 11, 12, and 13?
Yes, sir.
Second.
Second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you.
Tab number 14, parcel ID number 09369007B.
I thought Joe had a good argument. Nothing's changed until It does
Changes.
actually change. I mean, you know, that's what I thought, but,
Yeah, this 72,000
but it's not coming out of his
on that
pocket.
income approach or whatever it was.
Yeah, I make a motion, we accept the county's value.
I got a motion that we set the county's valuation.
Second.
We got a second from Ray. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you. I don't see how you can lower the value on something you paid 3.3 million, knowing you had a problem when you bought it. I mean,
Right.
Number 15 is a no-show. Do I hear that we accept the county's evaluation of their assessment of value?
Mr. Chairman, I did want to read into the record that this was appealed by Marvin and Poor. The rep was here for Charlotte Pipe and Foundry, but left.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just wanted to read in the record that we acknowledged that he was here and left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, 15
I
is,
make a motion
okay.
that the value remain on tab 15.
Do I hear a second?
Change.
Second.
Second by Ray. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Like to sign that. Okay, thank you. And then,
16, 17, and 18.
I thought it was interesting that the appraisals that he mentioned were higher than, they would support at a higher value than the purchase price.
And it ties in a little bit to like the prior one with the brownfield. A little
Yeah,
bit.
they knew what they were buying.
Yeah, yeah.
You're talking about radiator now?
Mm-hmm.
I got a problem with what he was saying originally, but staff recommended that the sale leaseback is not considered an arm's length transaction. Is that where the staff stands on this?
We do not typically consider those. The gentleman was right in the way he explained it, that they typically sell for more than we see fair market value. So we do not consider those. He was correct.
Okay.
He didn't really provide any comps, so, I mean, he was really hanging his hat on just what he paid for.
On what he paid
When it came
for it.
down to it, he was just using what he paid for it as his average.
But back to your one more thing, Ray, if I may, that sale lease back, they typically sell for more, but in this situation, as was mentioned during the hearing, had been, the fan mentioned, a bit of a distress going on with that owner. So it may play something, that's why we didn't consider that. That's why Joe would not consider that a valid arm's length sale.
All right.
As he explained earlier.
Brad, Van, all right, let's make this, if he would provide, he said he had 2 appraisals. If he would provide those appraisals to you, and would you consider, and they were lower than the 9720, would you consider lowering the value?
At this point, that would have to come back to the board.
But I mean, they could come back,
If he would provide the appraisals, we bring that back to the board, and it'll be your decision as to how you move forward with that.
I mean, I'm just elaborating, that was gonna hurt him if he brought those appraisals today, based on his argument today. He just, might as well have said that.
Yeah, if you'd like to table it and us to contact the owner and see if he would like to get those appraisals to us, we could review those appraisals. Not all, just because someone submits appraisal doesn't mean we're going to automatically reduce it to that. We have to review it, but we can bring it back before you. We can review it and bring it back before y'all if that's what y'all wish.
All right, so let's play devil's advocate here. Let's say his appraisals are 11 million plus. Are you gonna raise him up again?
No, we won't. We
will use what we have.
You go with
Right, we'll stay where we're at.
Okay, I don't know, but it's up to y'all if you want to do that or not. That's
I mean, give him the opportunity, you know, you can do that, I mean, but,
I don't know.
I think he knew it today, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I can go either way.
So you're going to stick with the county, right?
Yeah, I mean, for now, yeah.
All right, so I hear a motion that we stick with the county's recommendation.
I'll make that motion.
Got a motion, got a second?
Second.
Second by Ray, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you. Then we got a bunch of,
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
just to follow up on that, in that decision letter, do you want us to ask him to submit those appraisals?
I would say offer, or,
I don't know by the way we voted on it.
yeah,
Well, you made a decision, so it's,
We have to amend the motion.
you have to withdraw that decision.
Yeah,
no.
Okay.
leave it like it is.
Parcels number 19 through 29 are all accepted as staff recommendations.
Do I hear a motion that we accept the staff recommendations for parcels 19 through 29?
So moved.
Got a motion, do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, like sign no, thank you.
We ready to adjourn?
Do I hear a motion, we adjourn?
So moved.
I'm sorry?
How many hearings do we have for tomorrow night?
We
No
don't,
meet-
no.
No meeting tomorrow?
No meeting tomorrow.
Okay.
We will meet Monday and Wednesday. Monday and Wednesday, we have hearings.
Good.